There is not one single person in this world who does not experience stress every day. Even Jesus Christ had stress. What do you think? Being nailed on the cross, is that stressful or happy? Yeah, imagine, huh?
Stress happens, and that's not always bad. Starting a new job or getting married can both be happy things, but they can also be really stressful. There's some kinds of stress that just don't seem to go away, though, like the feeling that you're drowning in work but still perpetually worried about making ends meet. If you deal with a lot of stress every day for months or years on end, then stress doesn't just feel awful, it actually causes you physical harm. Psychologists call any event or situation that puts pressure on you or threatens your well-being a stressor, while stress refers to your psychological and physical reaction.
So there are two words that are often misunderstood: stress and stressor. Stressor refers to external events, things that are happening around you. And they make you think about it and then you react to it. Stress is your own internal reaction, autonomic. Autonomic means it happens inside you automatically without you controlling it. You cannot control stress. You cannot prevent stress, but you can relieve from stress. You can recover from stress, but you cannot prevent it from happening. The moment you see something, it triggers a stress, right? And everybody experiences it. Anything can happen in any moment. Suddenly I shout! Some of you get a little shock, right? See? Can you control that shock? No. Okay. You may find yourself, stand back a bit, but it happened to you. There was a moment of stress. So my shouting was a stressor. Your body's reaction is stress. So basically stress is how the body and the mind react. And that is what we're going to learn how to relieve, how to calm down. So, what triggers stress reaction? And these are called stressors. There are three major categories. Psychologists can break this down into 100 categories, but you can all summarize into three major categories. Something that triggers your emotion. It may be a simple thing, but it arouses your emotion. And it can be a simple thing like a dearly beloved person has just passed away and you just heard the news and then you feel very sad. So that is an example. Emotional trauma. So negative emotions arising. Or it could be somebody calling you by names and saying you're not good enough and then you remember that and then you feel hurt. That is again another kind of emotional trauma. So one category is something that arouses your emotion. Anything can arouse your emotion. The second category is adversity. Something different, something happening. Something that is a problem or causing trouble or difficulties presenting itself as a threat or a conflict. And we cannot always know whether it is threat or conflict by thinking. Sometimes it happens automatically, just like just now when I shouted in that moment. Your brain determined that was a threat and triggered that stress reaction inside you. So in other words, your brain determines whether something is a threat or a conflict and then triggers a chain reaction called stress. So something going wrong, not according to your expectation, not according to your plan. It could be obstructions, roadblocks, adversities, threats, conflicts, difficulties. The third type of thing is uncertainty. Unexpected, unfamiliar events, changes going on, confusion, perplexity. Something that you didn't expect or something that triggers uncertainty. In the prison, through the people there, their whole life in the prison is uncertainty. They don't know when they're going to get released. And that itself is very, very stressful. So these are the three major categories. Anything happening, you can place them in any one of these three categories. Arousing your emotions, causing some problems arising against your wishes, or uncertainty, not knowing what's going to happen next. All this, unfortunately, we react immediately without thinking. We react immediately without realizing what is the problem. We just react first. It's like somebody walking up to you and saying some terrible things to you, and then straight away you react. You often shout back. You often say back the same bad words to that person. Huh? That is reacting without thinking. And that happens all the time. That is what we call unmindful. So let's take a look at how the brain reacts to stressful situations.
When you're stressed, the fear center in the brain, called the amygdala, takes over. The brain sends out a distress call, which results in the adrenal glands located above the kidneys releasing hormones that speed up your heartbeat and breathing and push more blood to your muscles. Once the threat passes, your stress response winds down. For our prehistoric ancestors being chased by wild animals, this fight or flight response could be very useful, but in the modern world, it's a problem when the perceived threat never goes away. When the brain is under constant stress, it can change in ways that make you even more vulnerable to stress. A constant flood of stress hormones can also do damage by weakening your immune system, leaving you more prone to infections. It may trigger inflammation that puts you at greater risk for conditions like heart disease and diabetes. Learning how to cope with stress can help minimize these effects. Try practicing relaxation techniques like meditation, yoga, or deep breathing.
So there are many things we can do to relieve stress, right? Like meditation, yoga, deep breathing, and various exercises. Let's take a look at what happens when we get stressed. The brain, there is a part in the brain. Now you don't need to know the details, but I'll just tell you what it is. There is a part in the brain called the amygdala. This is the part of the brain that senses all your sensory inputs. What you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch goes through the amygdala first. And the amygdala is connected to your memory system, the librarian of your memory. And that part of the connection is that every time you see, hear, smell, taste, or touch something, it triggers the memory to see whether this is something that has happened to you before and whether it was threatening or not. And this happened in a split second, a fraction of a second, you don't even know. And then, if it determines that this is threatening, it triggers a chain reaction. Like just now when I shouted, your brain immediately detected, oh, this shouting is not good. So quite a number of things can trigger the amygdala. When the amygdala is triggered, it sends a signal to various parts of your body, to the glands, especially the adrenal gland above your kidney. There are two of them. And then the adrenal gland releases two very powerful hormones. So the amygdala reacts, triggering the release of these powerful hormones. And these powerful hormones, adrenaline and cortisol, right, they flood through the body, through your blood circulation, causing your heart to beat faster. See, your heart beats faster when you're stressed because of the hormones. And then your breathing deepens. Like that, huh? And then it causes your digestive system to stop. You see, when you eat some food, your digestive system starts to take up all the energy in your body to digest. What adrenaline and cortisol does is it stops the digestive system so that it releases the energy to the rest of your body to be able to react. And that's why when you attend a lecture in the afternoon straight after lunch, you get a little bit sleepy, right? Konti-konti ngantuk. That's because your digestive system is working. And when your digestive system is working, it draws a lot of energy from the rest of your body, especially from your brain. Your brain becomes a little bit drowsy. Right? That's why people get a little bit sleepy because of the digestive system. But cortisol and adrenaline is so powerful, it stops the digestive system so that it releases the energy so that you are able to react. And this reaction is called fight or flight reaction. Okay? And it also causes your muscles to be tensed up. See, when your muscles are tense, it's easy to fight. When your muscles are not tense, it's very hard to fight, isn't it? So all this is happening, it causes your hand to stand on end. We as human beings, we no longer have hair like dogs and cats. We can't see them anymore, but we can feel them. When you watch a horror movie, suddenly your whole body is feeling tingling sensation. That's because the hair on your body is standing on end. So that is experiencing. Your pupils dilate, so you open and see, what's going on? Why it is making me so stressed. And your facial expression is distorted, right? Because it is an evolution. Animals like to make themselves look tough when they face their predator. You see, when a dog comes across another bigger dog and makes himself look tough to try to frighten away the other dog. Human beings are no different. Our facial expression is distorted so they want to show people how strong, how powerful we are. All this is part of your stress reaction. And then you start to perspire, just like what I'm doing. I perspire. Okay, when people get stressed. It dries up your skin, it crumbles your skin and makes you look crazy. Look at the picture on the left. Hair standing on end. Pupils dilating. Muscles all tensed up. Facial expression distorted. All this is part of stress. When people get stressed, that's what happens. You have to be careful because if you don't take care of yourself, it dries up your skin. All these stress hormones dries up the skin and then it's not good for you. Right? It increases your blood sugar level, causing diabetes, and stops your body immune system, make you get very sick easily. And when it dries up your skin, this is what you look like. When people live a very stressful life, this is what happens to them. Yeah, very pangy. They don't have nice, smooth skin like me. See? Learn to relax, learn to be happy, learn to laugh. Relaxing is the most important thing. Then it reduces the chance of the skin drying up. Right? Now, don't overthink this. Just purely looking at me. Just looking at me. How old do you think I look like? Don't try to imagine. Just by purely looking. How old do you think I look like?
45.
45? Thank you so much. Can I remember? Anyone else? 50. Anyone else? 65. Wow. Anyone else? Mom, how old are you? Yeah, you. How old are you, Mom? 70.
60.
And Mom, how old are you?
75.
75. You are older than me. But Mom, I'm older than you. I'm 71. And I still have see, not dry out. So learn to smile, laugh, enjoy life, relax. The most powerful way to overcome stress, to reduce the harmful effects of stress, is to learn to relax.
Yes.
Learn to relax. Notice the way I say. I didn't say relax. I said relax.
Happy life.
Yes, learn to relax. Okay. Even Mother Teresa cannot avoid these stressful things because she lived a very stressful life. Anyone who lives a stressful life, the stress hormones will dry up the skin. It's also mentioned in the Bible. I will show you where it is mentioned in the Bible. So even Mother Teresa cannot avoid that because she lived a very stressful life. Moshe, come on, just pull up a seat and join in. My student in Laughter Yoga, she will join us. Okay, good. Just pull up a seat and join in. So learn to relax. Okay. Otherwise, we will have this fight or flight reaction. That means we always react without thinking too much. Okay. Now there is a part of your brain the opposite of stress. Stress is this amygdala reacting, causing the stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline to be released. But there is another part of the brain that can help you. This is the helpful part of the brain. It is called the vagus nerve. Stimulating the vagus nerve can help you become more relaxed and healthier. Okay? Let's take a look at what the scientists are saying.
One of the most powerful communication network within the body's internal nervous system is the vagus nerve. So what is the vagus nerve? Well, the Latin word vega means wandering. The vagus nerve is the longest set of cranial nerves that literally wanders around within the body, reaching out from the brain to almost every major organ in the body. It controls all involuntary body processes, such as breathing, speech, swallowing, heartbeat, blood pressure, hearing, taste, circulation, digestion, and gut health. It also controls bladder movement, orgasm, and fertility. A healthy vagus nerve enables us to access part of the brain responsible for creativity, higher cognition, and complex decision-making. In the absence of a healthy vagus nerve, our brain predominantly reacts to primal instincts, such as fear and the fight or flight reaction. A healthy vagus nerve is essential to leadership and decision-making. When the vagus nerve fails to perform effectively, the body becomes susceptible to a range of mental and physical diseases such as depression, anxiety, obesity, cardiovascular disorders, hypertension, diabetes, digestive disorders, chronic inflammation, kidney malfunction, infertility, and even Parkinson's disease. Electronic devices can be implanted to stimulate the vagus nerve, increasing its activity to help with diseases like depression. However, there are very effective natural ways to stimulate vagus nerve activity, such as breathing, meditation, exercises, yoga, omega-3, and probiotic-rich foods, singing, chanting, splashing cold water, laughing, hugging, and massages. By far, one of the most effective natural ways to stimulate the vagus nerve is through breath-related exercises involving strong activation of the diaphragm. Research has shown that natural stimulation of the vagus nerve has helped relieve depression in 67% of participants in the study, greatly reducing the release of stress hormone cortisol by 56% and reduced anxiety in 71% of the participants. Studies also showed stimulation of vagus nerve helps build stress resilience, improved immunity, inner happiness, creativity, stronger relationships. The long-term benefits from regular stimulation of the vagus nerve is reinforcement of love and empathy, connectedness, intuition, mental and physical well-being. All these benefits become integral parts of your life when you keep the vagus nerve nurtured and naturally stimulated regularly.
There are exercises you can do to help to stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is the longest set of nerves coming from the brain. It goes right throughout the body, connected to every major organ in your body. A few places it passes through is through the throat, right next to your vocal cords. And then it passes through the area near the heart. And then, most importantly, it goes through the diaphragm. The diaphragm is the muscle that regulates your breathing. And it passes through the diaphragm and to other parts of your body. That's why when you do breathing exercises using the diaphragm, diaphragmatic breathing, or very importantly now, I want you all to place your hand over your stomach and then you make a cough. Some of you can feel something feeling, right? Now I want you to laugh. You can feel something in the muscle there. Yeah. That is your diaphragm. The vagus nerve passes through your diaphragm. So when you laugh, your diaphragm is jumping up and down, and that is stimulating your vagus nerve. This is why laughter is the best way to stimulate the vagus nerve. When the vagus nerve is stimulated, it sends a signal to the brain to release very relieving hormones that helps your body to become healthy. So it's the opposite of stress hormones. These are very helpful hormones that help you to become more relaxed, to help you to experience all kinds of goodness, connectedness, relationships, and so on. So therefore, there are many things you can do. Breathing, because breathing affects the diaphragm. Meditation is calming down and relaxing very deeply. Exercises, because when you do exercises, you breathe a lot. In that breathing, you are also stimulating the diaphragm and the vagus nerve. Singing, because it goes past your vocal cord. When you sing, then it helps to trigger the vagus nerve. Laughter is the most powerful way by far. Yoga and chanting. Chanting also. Various other things you can do. And then laughter is the most powerful. There are also others. You can take omega-3 and probiotic diets, but depending on food doesn't really help. Right? Doesn't help a great deal. Splashing cold water. That's why it is actually healthier to take a cold bath than to take a warm bath. While you take warm bath, you feel more comfortable. But taking a cold bath triggers the release of happy hormones. So that's why I avoid taking a very warm bath. Very often my showering is cold water. I prefer that. Right? Hugging and massaging. All this. But we're going to focus on the top in yellow, especially laughter. So now I want to show you what happens when we experience something. Why is it that we get stressed? So when we experience things happening around us, we start to perceive what it is. And if we begin to perceive it is negative emotions and distress, perceiving adversity, threats and conflicts or uncertainties, very often we don't think. We react right away with a fight or flight reaction. And then it causes the body to be uncomfortable because of the stress hormone, and then disturbing the mind. So both the body and the mind are disturbed. This is really what's happening in us. When this is happening, and if you realize your body is getting tensed up, you realize your mind is getting disturbed, you must learn to relax. Relax. Okay? And if you don't learn to relax, it gets out of control. It goes into emotional chain reaction, creating all kinds of mental health issues, and then it is out of control. When it gets out of control, you will experience all kinds of problems. You will experience depression. You can experience post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. You can even experience psychological disorder, your mind going crazy. Go cuckoo, cuckoo. And then chronic illnesses, health issues. All this can be prevented if you learn to